people think like if they have like 200, 300 followers, they don't have influence. I have a friend who is white, and we talk all the time. And she didn't post anything. And she posted the black square, and I had to message her, and I was like, I was wondering when you were going to say something, because your friends are paying attention. And I wasn't hitting her up to post, but once she did, I was just like, it really took you a long time. And then she said to me, I'm actually in Minneapolis. Like, I flew there. I'm actually on the ground. And I said, that's why it's important to say something, because I didn't know that. I didn't know you were there because you just posted this black square and you've been completely quiet. And while it's super important to be hands-on and donate and be involved, it's also important to tell people what you're doing, because the people, and more importantly than me, than a black person, the people who look like you, who may be on the fence too, might need that spark. Be that spark, even if it's for two people. Be the person to have those uncomfortable conversations, because I promise you it's going to weed out people that you didn't even know they felt a certain way. And what a blessing to know what you're dealing with. Have those uncomfortable conversations so you can have real ones in your life. Because for me, I don't want nobody sitting on the fence in my life. Like, it's opened my eyes. I don't want to go to brunch with you and listen to hip hop and talk about Black issues with you if you weren't 10 toes down with me on this issue. I don't want that. When things start to get better, because one day they will, don't call me for brunch, girl. Don't call me, you know what I mean, to promote your project when you and work with Black people when it came to our survival. You were silent. Like, people are watching.
Absolutely. And I think that you mentioned like it's like you're weeding out people, and that's a blessing. We talked about this before doing our last podcast. We were like, we can't do a pop culture podcast. This is ridiculous. We need to talk about this. And it's actually like, you see people complaining all the time. Oh, I lost followers. Who gives a shit? If people are unfollowing you because of what you said right now, good. Like, you don't want those people following you. I know I don't. So
yeah, it is funny because I was talking about this with Morgan on my show, and she was, we're talking about her allyship, and she was just saying for a while she didn't know what to say. And when she posted, she said she couldn't believe the amount of DMs that she was getting, because I think she said she thought people thought because she's rich, she's white, that she was instantly conservative. And she was like, it's just so far from who I am. And I was like, that's why it's important to let people know. And if you're conservative, fine. Being conservative doesn't always mean that you condone racism, but it definitely means you have to. So if you don't, that's always been my thing, is like, if you don't condone this behavior, why would you stay silent? It doesn't make sense to me. And I think to think that your voice isn't important, whether you got 5 followers or 5 million, is a disservice to not only you, but the people around you. It's never been more important. When we look at the history books, we look at the 50s and 60s when we were talking about integration and segregation, and we see those posters, and you see Black people walking through this line, and you see people yelling at them and pointing at them. This is like that. Like, what side of history do you want to be on when our kids look back and see this, and you look like a fool because you didn't say something, or because you just didn't want to create a wave? This is not the time. Like, this is complete civil unrest from generations of mistreatment. And if you think now is the time to be quiet and post about scones, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. It's crazy, because you do see the people who are on the fence. And if there was ever a time to jump to the other side of the fence and make it known what you stand for, what you believe in, now's the time. And for the girls who listen to us, who have messaged us and said like they're not really sure, they feel this way, they agree with us, but they're not really sure how to actively participate, what do you think are like the best first steps to take?
Like, what do you feel as a human being?
Yeah.
You say what happened to George Floyd was unacceptable, post it. If you say, I stand with everybody being treated equally and I stand against oppression, post that. you start simple. Start at the simplest place and watch how many people who don't agree with you come out for you saying something so human. Watch people who have a problem with you saying that people are equal. Like, something super simple and see what people have to say. And that's where you're going to get your strength from, because it doesn't matter how simple you start. If someone is racist and intent on misunderstanding you, they don't give a shit what you post. And that's the point. So you might as well go hard, because they're going to have a problem either way.